Hello, you're welcome to the Live It Up podcast, a podcast on life, lessons, and survivorship with non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and many more. This season we focus more on cancer, and this podcast is proudly brought to you by the Uganda Child Cancer Foundation, the Uganda Cancer Institute, Afron, the Tribe UG, ECLAS, and many others. My name is Brandy, but before we get to that, you can be part of this podcast not only as a listener, but also as a blesser or a sponsor. Donate a thing or two to the children battling cancer, or support through transport and so much more. My name is Brandy, and today I'm joined by Susan Navakoza. And you realize why we have her today on the show is nurses spend a lot of time, the most adequate time, with patients and caretakers and the doctors. So basically, they bridge the gap. And we are very happy to have this insightful conversation with you today. You're welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Brandy.
Yeah.
Nice being here.
Yeah.
Nice having this opportunity to talk to people about what the children with cancer go through.
Yeah. First and foremost, I like your hair. Very natural and nice. Yeah. And I would like to please introduce yourself. Who are you? If someone met you on the road and said, "Who's Susan?" what would you say?
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Nabakoza Susan. I'm a nurse.
Yeah.
I work with Cancer Institute.
Yeah.
And I work with the children.
Yes.
Basically, that is it.
Yeah.
I'm also a mother of two.
Yeah. 2 girls, boys.
2 boys.
Ooh. Made of thick skin, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is me. I have worked with Cancer Institute for 11 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and ever since I think I came to Cancer Institute, I've only worked with children.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's the senior assistant nursing officer. And let's get into our questions today. Question number 1. Have you always wanted to be a nurse?
Since childhood?
Yes. Yeah. At what point did you decide that you wanted to be?
I think since childhood, I never had a very critical focus of what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
But again, I got an insight of what I wanted to be, I think, in second year.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd make a good engineer.
Yes.
So I thought I wanted to be an engineer anyway.
Yeah.
More so a civil engineer.
Yeah.
However, I think God didn't want me to be.
Yes.
Then I found myself in nursing
Yeah.
after my senior 6.
Yeah.
I think my dad drove me so much to the nursing side because he told me, "You see what you're doing, you are a lady. Don't leave those things to boys.
Yeah.
Why don't you join nursing?" And I said, "Dad, I don't want."
Yeah.
But anyway, at some point he pushed it, and I had to become one.
Yeah.
And I think throughout my nursing school, I only loved to be nursing second year.
Yeah.
The whole first year, I was just doing it to pass it.
Yes.
But I was not so sure that
This was where you
make a
were
good nurse. I am a nurse. I wouldn't fit so well in the nursing shoes. I was not in class for it.
Yeah.
Because remember, I was in a class of, the so-called as to be. Now I thought my colleagues have left me. They're in another institution. I'm in this nursing institution. I kept feeling so bad, but at some point I accepted. When it came to second year, I actually accepted, and I think I started loving nursing work. I started loving nurses. And I became a good nurse.
Yeah. It became a
I'm
whole
proud
new,
of being a nurse by now.
Yeah.
Because at least I know I try my best. I do what I'm supposed to do as a nurse. And yes, at the end of the day, I feel happy for whatever success I've achieved through being a nurse.
Okay. What helped shape your passion to work with the children with cancer?
I think it was by default. Because since I came to Cancer Institute, I have been working with children.
Yeah.
I remember I came into Cancer Institute when I was still a bit young, but I was placed on the children's ward. So since then, I felt I should work with children. these children were going through a lot of suffering. Some were jolly. The moment the child gets better, you feel, they become happy, they play. I was like, oh, this child was dying last night, was dying yesterday, but now they are here, we can play, we can jazz. You would bring them some sweets tomorrow, they are so happy. I loved working with children since then. So I think just the placement I got in Cancer Institute, I think drove me to love the children. So yeah.
So what is it like? A day in a pediatric oncology nurse, a day in your life, what is it like?
Well, a day in my life is long, let me say it. I don't know how much to explain it, but sometimes it is good when especially you've had success throughout the day. All the children you've worked upon are still fine. No one has changed condition to critical condition. No one has died, and all have remained happy. However, at some moments you find some child can change condition. They can make us sad at just a single shot in time. They have been happy, they have been playing around, but suddenly the child starts bleeding. And you find that sometimes you have no supportive products to support them immediately, and at some point you lose them. Of course, it becomes so nasty at that point. Everyone becomes sad, the patients become sad, the attendants become sad, the entire medical team becomes sad, and that day can be worse. So you find that sometimes you even carry that day home. Go home and tell them what has happened, how painful, what the pain you've gone through managing certain kind of a child. You begin stressing, even the home people shifting your day to home. So it's not uniform. Sometimes it is really good, sometimes it's bad. So that is how we go through the day. But the slogan is keep hoping, as long as you do your best. So as long as I feel I've tried to do what I have supposed to do, or what I could have done, and I've done it well, and whatever happens after, it is God's decision. So someday I console myself in that way, and I take the day as it was. However much I've lost, or I've not been happy of the outcome of certain intervention, as long as I feel I've done something, I just thank God for that day.
Okay. How many children do you serve at the Uganda Cancer Institute in roughly a week?
In a week. I work with the ward. So you find that some children are admitted on the ward for a longer period. Some are admitted for even a month. Some are admitted for a week. So I don't know how I can calculate it weekly basis, but at least on daily basis, we have an average of 35 patients. Yes. So on weekly basis, I may not say I should calculate the 35 times 7, because you find that the patient who was there yesterday is the same one tomorrow, the other day, and if you come in and get their chemos, those that are stables, and go. Some remain there who are on strict monitoring, or who are on continuous therapy. So I think let's take an average of 35 a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How do you manage working with parents who are dealing with hearing that their children are suffering from cancer for the very first time?
Wow, that's sad. It's not an easy time. At the moment, these children, the parents get to know that their children have cancer. It's emotional. It becomes emotional for both the parents and for both the nurse or the medical team handling that particular patient and family or parent. First of all, what these parents think or know is their children are dying. Once they learn about that their children have cancer at some point, what crosses their mind is, wow, I'm not getting anything out of it. They start thinking of death. They start thinking of only negative items. So it's really tough. You have to do a lot of counseling. You find that you can spend almost half of your day. It's one family that has just learnt about the diagnosis of cancer of their child. And of course, it's worth it. That is all that they need. They need to be around them. They need information. They need someone who is caring at that point. Believe me, you, whether they are learnt or not, it is actually very saddening at that point. It is very sad, very painful. You find that everyone is in tears. Actually, some go into denial. They feel they want to first go back home and first, I think, internalize the statement of cancer or consult about cancer more.
Get even like a second opinion.
Exactly. Some go actually and seek for second opinion, thinking probably it is not. So it is very, very tight. Many patients have broken down into tears. You find that you have to first counsel them, to first leave them actually cry and get them back together after some point. You talk to them. But basically, many times if you talk to them, however painful it is, because they need someone to talk to. They need someone who can tell them what happens. So talking to them is one of the key things that we do and we must do. And you find that when you talk to them, they slowly integrate into the system, slowly by slowly. And you understand, at some point they get to understand. And they have verbalized that when they also get to see that they're not alone. You see, when they come on the ward or when they come in OPD, in Cancer Institute, we have both ward where we keep patients who cannot come from, who are on continuous treatment.
The inpatients.
Yes, the inpatients. And those who are not stable, who are not well, they are newly diagnosed. We are still looking for diagnosis. They are usually kept on the ward. And those ones that come from OPD, they are a bit stable. They have already gone through the system. They just come to get reviews, get their medicines as they are scheduled, then they go home. And when this new person or this new parent finds these other children in care, he gets to be comforted. And sometimes you get a parent who has already gone through it to talk to them. So this, gives them comfort the more, and they cope.
They cope. Which brings me to my next inquiry. Treatment abandonment. It is an issue that leads in the challenges first with cancer care. And you being in the children's ward, that means treatment abandonment. Because they're children, they don't have a say in. If the parent says, you know what, this treatment, I'm not doing it anymore, let's go. We shall find other ways. How do you help minimize the window of treatment abandonment?
We have actually had some treatment abandonments. One in the line that you've asked me about. We actually just inform them. We do not force them into the system. We just give them information, all the relevant information that we feel is necessary for them. First of all, we explain to them the diagnosis. That's if they have come with the diagnosis. Some come without diagnosis but with suspected cancer, of which we have to investigate and actually find the actual diagnosis. So we still explain to them, talk to them, such that they understand the system and the processes that they're going to go through. However, some still feel the processes are long. Some still feel even just a mere taking of a biopsy from a swollen tumor is going to spread cancer. So they feel no, and in that regard, we cannot force them. Some request to go, and when they request to go, as long as we feel we've given them the relevant information, we actually don't allow them to have to go on their own, because this is a hospital, it's a national referral. We cannot then send it elsewhere. We have given you the relevant information. As long as we feel we have fed you with the necessary information, well, the decision is in your hands. So you can go. But we cannot tell them to go because it is not what we want them to go through. Then you find that there are others who also face abandonment in another way. They have accepted the cancer. They have accepted that the processes are long.
Yeah.
However, they have no support.
Yeah.
And you find that they are here, but we cannot progress in many avenues. Investigation workup. However, the Uganda Cancer Institute have now created a system where the institute supports some patients who are unable to make payments for certain investigations, especially those that are within the institute. For example, CT scans are paid for. You find that the head CT scan runs for about 150,000, abdominal 200. So a peasant parent may not afford such kind of money. However, there is a system where our social workers lead this. So they assess, we post to them the patients, they come and assess the needs of the patient and how far they can afford in certain kind of investigations. Then the director puts a waiver for them.
Yes.
Even if it is 0%, sometimes it is done for some patients so that they can continue to get their treatments. But you find that there are parents who get all that care, whom they have waived off fees for certain investigations. They have gone through the first treatment and the child has actually gotten better. Yeah. But when we discharge them back home, actually we don't discharge, but we allow them home because discharging means you discharge them for good. Yeah. But we allow them home. Then after a certain period of time, they have to come back and get reviews and treatments. But you find that when they reach the community home, they still, kind of consult still the community people. And they kind of get lost by I don't know who or herbalists or what. Sometimes you get to call them and they give you excuses which are not realistic. You didn't have money to bring back the child, but you didn't have money, but you've seen response out of the child. It looks a blame game to them. However, sometimes they can't tell you the actual reasons. Some, they actually worsen from home, and when they worsen from home, they still visit other avenues, herbalists and witch doctors. They go and also travel to such kind of traditional medicines. You find that they are lost because of other communities that have taken them away for some reasons and some words.
Shortcuts. Huh?
So it's a lot. However, to focus more on your point, those whom we feel we've given enough information, they are free to go at their liberty. It is only the ones that we have assessed that they will not be fit for chemotherapy or they will not be fit for any therapy, be it radiotherapy, be it surgery, that we actually still explain to these parents that you see your child's cancer is out of hand. We can only treat the symptoms per se, but we may not subject the patient to chemotherapy or any kind of therapy to treat cancer. That we can now send them to people like hospices
for palliative
care. So those are the only patients that we can recommend to be taken away from Cancer Institute because yes, it is directed, but still we sit the family down and explain this all. So in that regard, the family can request, even as you can actually write a document or you can write kind of a transfer letter to a nearby hospital. For example, for those who are staying in Mbarara, we have a regional cancer center there. We actually write to the Mbarara Regional Cancer Center and to handle the patients closely near home. And of course, we also attach them to the hospice team such that they can manage palliatively while they are close to home in case of death, in case of anything. So those ones, they go, but on the medical advice we've given, even sometimes we write. But these ones we give information, but they feel they want to consult other avenues, they are free to go at their liberty. You cannot tie them up.
That's true. And even when they come back after trying elsewhere, you receive them.
Of course, we receive them. This is the hospital.
Arms,
exactly. So we receive them with open hands and we start from where we ended. Sometimes we start even afresh because you find that the disease has gone astray, has supervised. You have to do more even investigations that they did before.
Yeah.
Even if they even did the investigation before, you have to repeat and see at and be sure of where now you're beginning to treat the child.
How have you been managing, you as a nurse, to ensure that you are readily available to help give your patients the care they need?
Well, when we are working, we have what we call duty schedules, duty rotas. If you're on duty, you have to come on duty.
Yes.
So we work ideally 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So I make sure I attend my duty
Yes.
promptly as I'm supposed to.
Yes.
If I'm around, I come and do whatever that is relevant for me to do.
Yeah.
We always have job descriptions, so you always get to know what you must do.
Yes.
We align our ward very well, organize the ward, get ready for the day.
Yeah.
So of course you have to know the number of patients you're dealing with, you're having at the what are they getting, how critical are they, what basic needs do they need for the day. Of course there are those who change within the day, but still you have to be prepared for those emergencies, because we very well know that as long as you're here, anything can happen. So that is how I keep moving, and I keep ensuring that I'm around and do my work. So as long as I'm on duty, I come and perfect my duty. I try to do my best anyway. Of course, there are certain things that can put you off or astray from what you must do, but still, you ensure that you talk to a colleague you're working with. First of all, we don't work alone. On the ward, we work as a team. We have doctors, we have nurses, and we sometimes have lab people that come around to do certain tests for the children as may be required.
Yes.
We have pharmacy. Yeah, we have a pharmacist attached on the ward. So you keep consulting. Even if you feel something is heavy for you, you call for help. You call for a colleague to help you. You consult each other. So we work as a team. That's how we've managed. If you feel at the moment you are alone, probably the doctor has gone, there's no pharmacist, still you have to keep on phone. In case of any emergency, you keep on phone. You call for help. Because managing alone is out of where you cannot.
No man is an island.
Yeah, so that is how we manage to get work done and to move on. And sometimes even we work with the attendants. As long as attendants know what to do, we inform them of what to do, they will always help you. They will always actually notify you of any change in the patient, even if you're not there to monitor closely, because yes, it is our work to monitor closely. But at some point, because of workload, you could have gone to the lab, you could have gone to the pharmacy, you could have gone to the stores for some reason to collect something to help.
Or even your shift could have changed.
Exactly. But we keep educating these parents about certain kind of things. We actually give them what we call health education talks. Like we can do them every morning. Sometimes we may fail, but at least there are times in a week that we do these talks. We keep telling them changes in condition. When you see these symptoms, please alert the nurse. Look for the nurse, look for a doctor, look for someone. So, we keep working together as a team.
How has COVID-19 affected your delivery as the nursing department and the pediatric department?
Wow. COVID-19 was really a mess. There's a time it was really horrible. But coming even to work was a mess, was a problem. We would first of all be fetched. At that time when COVID-19 brought a lot of things, we had to have lockdowns in the country. The president had to lock the country down. We had curfew times. Actually, even now we still have some of those things. Curfew time is still on, but at least not as tight as then. So you would find that there is no how you could leave your home to come for duty. You're staying like 20 kilometers away from here, or even if it's 10, you could not walk. So coming for duty was a problem. However, the institution created means of helping staffs to come and work on the patients. So they would fetch staffs from home, but still it was not timely. Because you'd find that there are 3 cars that are fetching staffs from home. staffs are staying in different places. They're not staying in one unified place. No. So this car would fetch someone from Akiso, would fetch someone from Kawanda, would fetch someone from Okono. We are supposed to arrive here at 8, but you would find that we would arrive here at 10 or 11.
Which becomes a longer shift for the people
Exactly.
who had stayed. Yes.
If there was a patient who was to get treatment at around 9, and yet the night staff was already picked by the vehicle which was going to Mukono to collect Mukono people, because that is how it would be. They would now fetch. We made rotas of where each one of us would come from. So they would know, okay, we are aiming from UCI. So we have to take those ones who slept on night shifts to Mukono, then we collect the ones coming from Mukono. So you'd find that at some point there was time where there is no nurse, no doctor, the parents and patients were alone. So it was really that tight that sometimes we missed treatments for the patients, or patients missed their treatments. We would find that duty was not well covered. Someone is not there, but it's not their they are making that.
It's COVID happening.
Exactly. Pharmacy people also would mix treatment only when the nurse was around to ensure that the medicine doesn't go bad. So it is until the nurse would reach, then inform the pharmacy team that, you know what, medicine has to arrive. Pharmacy team would mix chemo and then sometimes go away. And you find that if you had forgotten someone, to schedule someone for chemotherapy, they will not get it then they'll have to get it tomorrow. If there is someone who needed emergency therapy, they would not get it because probably some people have now left. Maybe they have gone back home, they have walked back home. So it was horrible. People missed treatments. People, getting even food was a problem, because now we would have to move up to where to get food. First of all, restaurants, what while closed. I don't know, everything was a mess to both parents, staff. Parents, first of all, could not afford coming, even had no means of coming to the UCI because public means were blocked off.
You needed a letter from the LC.
Majority of our patients were using public means. Even if you would get a letter from LCs, there were no taxis. They were not allowing border borders, and by then the border you would get was very expensive, because it would count that it is going to bring the patient from where they are coming from, but it would not carry any other patient back. So they were expensive, and remember, these parents were also locked down at home. They were not working, so they were not earning any money for them to keep spending while coming. So ideally, we did to combat some of those challenges, we had to make sure that we collaborated more with the hostels that that give us support. We have hostels like Kawempe Home Care, we have Blessed the Child, and some actually kept on the ward. For those whom we could afford to maintain on the ward, we maintained them, and they would eat what the UCI kitchen would cook. And those who the hostel people afforded to accommodate were sent to the different hostels. So the different hostels actually had the means of bringing them and taking them back. So at least that was sorted. However, still we had treatment abandonments, or we had lost to follow-ups in that regard, and we lost some patients in that regard because they couldn't access care. We couldn't do much with them. Money was lost at that point. People were not working. Staffs were challenging still. Transportation, in feeding, even having care done. Like equipment would be closed. You would find someone in stores who would provide you with gloves, say with some medicines. Maybe we could not also come maybe on time. Sometimes they failed. So it was really a mess. But with coordination and cooperation and with the time, I think after the first lockdown, the rest was sorted. By then we found we had gotten solutions of how to combat some of those challenges, and now life continued as normal. So most of our patients would access care regardless of the challenges. Yeah.
How do you as nurses deal with the loss of children to cancer from time to time?
It is really sad that we have no sometimes we don't have a proper kind of system to help us deal away with that stress. It's a lot of stress, my dear.
And trauma.
It is a lot of stress, it's a lot of trauma that actually focus on only the parents who have lost. But many times we feel the pain, being that we have also a lot of efforts on those children. We sometimes cry. You go away, you go aside, you cry, you share with people. Of course, the colleagues you're dealing with. Last week we happened to lose a child. In the morning, as soon as we received the shift, our colleagues from night had gone home. I think 30 minutes after they had handed over, some parent came running and saying, "Musao, come, my child is dying." Of course, we looked at the child, went, brought monitors to resuscitate, called for help, called the doctor, called who, child breathed her last. It was sad. Even just me telling this parent that, you know what, we are sorry we have lost the child. We felt it's a shame. We felt it is not possible. We first had to leave the parent there, go out. Now the parent had to come and say, "Please first tell me my child is not breathing. You have gone away." Until we now come and tell the parent, you know what, we have lost the child, but it's because of the pain that we are also going through. We felt even breaking it down, we are also going to tear down. Wow, you first have to swallow some air. In, out, and you mentioned this sad news. But later on, sometimes we cry. We feel it's too much, we go aside and cry. We realize that at some point, we are maybe in the wrong place. This is so traumatizing. You go through it today. You may not go through it tomorrow, but next week you can go through it. Maybe every day, sometimes a month. Keep facing this pain. It's so stressing, so emotional, and demoralizing at some point. You find that there are certain days when people have no morale to work, but because of the loss, and there's no one to talk to us as nurses, no one to talk to us as the medical team. It is really challenging, and in this regard, we feel we need a psychologist to talk to us. We feel we need probably happy hours to stress off. We feel we need to make ourselves happy at some point, and we feel we need management actually to help us more by supporting us in very many different avenues, of which sometimes we don't feel supported, emotionally more so. But by talking to each other and also encouraging ourselves and believing in God that, well, however much this happened, probably death, because we are scientists, we believe death, every living thing has an end, has to die. Although how you died matters. So you just have to console yourself, and also sitting as a team and get to know what happened, what did we do wrong, what went wrong. Sometimes we have those audit meetings where we sit and evaluate. This patient has this and this and this. However, from what we had, were we supposed to cure? Were we treating to cure? Were we treating to palliate? Did we expect good results after this? At some point to even do some treatments, knowing very well that we are now going into tough times. But having known that we have these tough times, have we supported these tough times? Did we do what we were supposed to do in these tough times? If we answer it as yes, well, we say we have cleared our hands. I think we did our best. We gave the medicine as was required. We gave the right things as was required. We just counsel ourselves. Again, when we also find these ones who have succeeded very well, who have gone through it very well, maybe we get people who come from home but survived. Well, we again forget the loss. We forget the very many questions, and we say, well, if we have this one still alive, if we have this one who have been in the other one's in the shape was the other one. Yes, I think let's get moving. We are not good at some point. So you just encourage you just, actually at all points we just encourage ourselves through very many other avenues. we come and you're like, anyway,
Yeah.
other parents also need us. And as you cry there, another one is coming. Musa, come, this bottle is finished.
Yeah.
So you have to wipe your tears off. You go and again deal with the other one. You find the child dancing around again. Now you smile a bit.
Yes.
It's so mixed.
Yeah.
It's funny, but
it's a whole situation.
it's a whole situation.
But we absolutely appreciate the work you do for our fellow citizens. And this is actually a question of interest. Do children receive the same chemo as adults?
It depends on the different types of cancer.
Yeah.
Cancers that are for children alone,
Yeah.
and you will never see them in the adult side. So automatically that chemo is different.
Yeah.
However, for the cancers that cut across both children and adults, yes, they receive the same treatments, but different doses, because doses are calculated differently. In the adults, most of the chemo is calculated using the body surface area.
Yeah.
That is the height and weight, and you calculate the body surface area. Even the children, some chemos are calculated using the body surface area,
Yeah.
but some are calculated using their body weights, being that they're still growing and they're young children. But protocols, some cut across, some are different. So with treatment is per protocol. You see, cancer care follows protocol. So you find that we have leukemias in children, and we are having this protocol that we are following. And also there is a leukemia in an adult, same kind of leukemia. For example, if it is acute lymphoblastic leukemia in a child, and there is acute lymphoblastic leukemia in an adult, they actually go through the same drugs, but maybe the days that they go through may be different, and the intensity. So you find it that some points we give, there's a drug called L-asparaginase that in children we now give 6 doses, in adults are still giving 9 doses. So it depends. And also what do I call it? The disease burden that you have, the percentage also guides. We first of all classify the disease. There's what we call standard risk, there's what we call high risk, and there's what we call intermediate risk. So all those now are treated differently. For those that are standard risk, and some children are standard risk, they don't follow the same protocol as high risk. But some drugs are the same, although some few differences happen to come around.
Apart from, so I know that the pediatric, the children's ward, level 3, has different stakeholders, just the way they're nurses and doctors and caretakers. Which other people have been able to participate and contribute to the cancer care on the ward?
Okay, we've actually had very many different people who have really supported us in very many avenues. We have individuals, we have teams, we have organizations that we've worked with that have supported us. We have worked with the UCCF, Uganda Cancer Child Foundation. We have worked with the hostel team. We have Kawempe Home Care. They support our children in housing them, and sometimes even they support them in investigation workup. They pay for some of their investigations. We have had the Blessed Child Foundation. It's also our housing entity it accommodates our children. It also supports them in one way or another, in investigation still, in feeding them. We've had people, individual persons. We have someone called Mwami Matovu. He has supported us even right now. Actually, he's from blessing us with eggs, buns, with milk. He supports, actually, once the eggs are done, he supports eggs business every day, daily. And he said he will do it daily as long as he still lives. So he really supports the nutrition bit of our children. he makes sure at least in a day they eat a bogoya, a fruit, and egg, and once in a while a bun. So he comes, he keeps checks with us on phone. Sometimes he comes physically. He can bring like 30 trays of eggs. Go to a kettle where we boil the eggs from, and the children get it instantly. He sometimes actually brings porridge, instant porridge. So that one I cannot say a lot, but he has done a lot.
Mami Matomo, thank you for the cake, also for the childhood September Gold Month. Childhood Cancer Month.
Yes. So we've had people like DFCU. They have also supported in very many ways. We've had people like URA. And we had very many other individual groups that I can't keep mentioning that have come once, that have come twice. We have people who come and trust parties. We have,
and then also Voodoo Art Society.
Exactly.
For the art therapy.
So some I may not mention, I may have forgotten, but really we have been supported. At some point, people in UCI say, pediatrics is a different entity from the rest. For them, they have ABCDs, they have nice meals, they have, they have play therapists. For them, they have nice things. So they actually even think that even the staffs are getting different things from them.
Oh dear.
Which is not right. But it's just that, you see, children are eye-catching.
They're also the future.
And they're also the future. And when you see a child suffering, for sure, you just feel bad and get touched that even if you have only one pen, you have to give it to this child to make some happiness for them. Than adults anyway. It is, I think, just a normal thing that everyone faces. Even if it were me, I cannot find a child starving and I give an adult. If I find a child and an adult, I better give a child than an adult.
And the adults, you write them a check later.
At some point we've had a lot of support. And we appreciate. Surely they have supported us very much.
And we thank you. What do you do to... this is a nice one. What do you do to help the children keep up with their challenges of chemotherapy?
Wow. You just play with them. You just talk to them. Actually, we have some of the UCCF team that come to the ward and they offer play therapy to our children. Yes, they put some music for them. They put some movies. They give them books to write
and read.
So they forget that environment of chemotherapy.
So
even us, as we are infusing our chemotherapy, we keep telling them, you see, let's receive only one bottle, only 2 bottles. You keep talking to them, and we go in the playroom, and you use that. You even drive that bike. You even drive that toy. So we have those toys that they admire. So we can even bring it closely to them. We say, you know what? It's okay. Just after this, you're going to join this boat, and you drive, and so they get, they get inspired. They get some kind of So we just kind of block their minds and distract their minds. That is what basically we do. We talk to them, we play with them. Sometimes we get a bogoya and give them and assure them, just eat this bogoya. After we give this chemo, it will not burn, it will not do much with you. It's okay, you're going to play after all. So you bring something nice, or even you ask them what they want to eat. Some point we have gone extra miles of asking them what they want to eat. And yes, you go into your pocket and you buy it to them, so that they get the love to love.
Because you're going to even need them to get that same dose tomorrow.
But you keep. Sometimes you lie to them.
It reminds me of the time.
Give them lies.
It reminds me of the time when my brother was doing homework, and then he kept writing B instead of D, and I'm like, Didier, please. And he was like, you know what? You're shouting too much. Do the work yourself. I was like, but it's your homework. Then I had to organize myself and lead him on.
You see, children are nice. Even if you annoy them today, tomorrow, the other day, they'll be your friends. That's the beauty. And they will tell you, if you have annoyed them, they will tell you, today you have annoyed me. You have pricked me 100 times. You have pricked me 10 times. I hate you. Tomorrow, you just bring a distractor. Bring a toy car. and they are happy. And even you ask them, okay, have you forgiven me? First forgive me before I give you my... Yes, I've forgiven you. So life moves on. You keep distracting, lying to them, giving them nice things.
Yeah.
In that they get to love it and get used. And there are some actually who even tell their parents, when are you going back to Pokemon? And even before they are reviewed, they want to first come and play that toy car or even that doll that you gave them. You know, sometimes we don't give them for good, to use them for good. You tell them whenever you come back. So that kind of play therapy is also nice. It inspires them to come back, and you tell them, well, you will find it. Now if I give it to you, you will not come back with it. You will now forget it home. No, whenever you come back, you will find it for you. He will be waiting for you.
Okay. Just you.
So now they accept. Okay, please, Musao, keep it well for me.
Yes.
When am I coming? Even want you to remind them when they are coming back, and you say you're coming back in 2 weeks. Okay. So you know, you just keep encouraging, playing, lying. You know, giving them nice things, and they get to.
It's not lying. It's persuading. Yeah, and then
as long as you just manage their psychology, children are nice. You keep managing them all throughout. Even if you've inflicted pain today, or just in 5 minutes, the next 10 minutes you can be happy with them.
Yeah,
they can forgive very fast.
That's true. If someone, I feel like we have a whole ecosystem in the pediatric center. I won't even lie. Like everyone just does what they can to use it on the kids and make their treatment happen. So what do you encourage people to do? How can people help?
Like which people? Well-wishers,
or I won like a lottery and I have $1 billion. I'm sitting on it under the bed. How can I help?
Well, this is a government entity that they have to go through proper channels if they want to help.
Yeah.
But there's actually a certain the national media. They had actually offered that the national media group that offered a fundraising of how many?
It's actually ongoing for
it's still ongoing.
About
we want to extend or to broaden the children cancer service. We want it to be a center of excellence in Africa. We want to have very many things that we may not afford to have now because of, I think limited
resource constraint.
Yeah. But if supporters can work with governments or can work with UCI and broaden cancer, the children's cancer service, add or support in staff welfare, support the number of staffs that are working, because you find it that we are very few staffs on the ward. We are 11 people on the ward managing day and night.
35 children day and night.
Of which the ideal number of ratio of patient to nurse patient ratio, 1 nurse to 5 patients. But you find your 1 nurse to 15 patients. So if you have 35 patients and we are 2 nurses at that shift.
The shift. Yes.
11 is the whole. Okay. So you find that number is so small to handle the very many different activities required for the different for the 35 cancer patients. So if they can work closely with the institute and they happen to add more staffing, improve staff welfare, improve on the resources and the equipment that we use. Sometimes the equipments also fail us. You see, it's so painful to have your knowledge, but again, what to use is limiting you. If all those things can be corrected, improve staffing, improve welfare, improve working conditions, providing resources, we shall be well. I think it will be better. We shall move on better than we are. We shall improve very fast than we are.
Absolutely. When you can feel free to go to the National Media Group page and find a way to donate. The numbers are there so that we can set up a center of excellence for pediatric oncology. Have the kids have like classrooms in the treatment area so that they can do stuff after, or even have tabs where they can play, because we have the younger children and the older ones. So get like tabs and also be able to do different stuff on their gadgets. And so much more, and so much more, and so much more.
Exactly. And actually, you find that we have these adolescents who even come and ask for internet. If we can provide the different kind of stuff for the different people. If they feel they have their tab, they have a phone, and they feel they can, they can have internet to play games to distract their minds of the stress of being a cancer patient or having cancer. That could be nice. We feel that is another avenue, and we can also put a lot of information about cancer. We can give them websites that are relevant to have, information about cancer on, and they keep reading. Maybe we also have people testifying. Okay. Also, if we have more of the people who come to like the parent support group, if they can do more talks to these ones who are still in care, in ongoing care, it would be better, because these parents usually want to hear from someone who has gone through it, who has had a success story. They also get inspired at some point. That is on the side of the parents. And also we also feel good. That is some point. That is one work that can be off our disease. Yes. If you get someone who has gone through it to inspire the rest, to talk to the rest, you feel the burden you have to talk to them is lessened.
Of convincing them that this is actually possible.
Exactly. It is lessened because they have had it from someone who has gone through it.
Yeah.
There is a lady who one day said, "So you cannot cancel me until I get someone who has gone through it." Now for you have treated. Yes, that is your work, to counsel us, to tell us, but I just need someone who has gone through it, because for you don't know the pain. We do not sleep, we do not eat, talked a lot of things. So until we got this person linked up together, actually even went to their home, they talked, they even took the child that had recovered, and this mother started saying, okay, so even my child can be like this, even my child can go through all these things, and we succeed in this way. So also that kind of aspect, if it is handled, the better.
Okay, thank you very much, Susan. It has been amazing having you on this podcast. You have no idea. I pray that the different people who listen to it get to be impacted by this information. But now, tell us, we want an activity. So when people come here on the podcast, they tell us different activities that we should indulge in. A healthy activity. Tell us, which one should we carry out this week?
Health activity. For the children, on the wardrobe.
For our health, for us, the health. Exercise. Which one?
Oh my God.
It's easy to say exercise. You need to be specific, my friend.
Okay, you can skip a rope.
Yes. How many? Give us a number.
You can skip a rope like 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
Yes.
1,000 skips 3 times a week.
Not 1,000. Come on. Even me, I can't make 1,000. But at least you can make 100.
100. 3 times a week. That's 300.
100 3 times. They usually advise 30 minutes in a day.
Me, I've added the stakes. You do 1,000 3 times a week. You come and I give you money.
Yes. I think it's the cheapest exercise for me to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't require you from moving away from your home to go to Sumanya, which beach. It doesn't require you to run. But again, you're doing exercise.
Yeah.
Do it from your home, from where you are. That's why I recommend it. Anyway.
Okay. So we have a joke of the day. Are you ready for it?
No problem.
Let me ask you. You have to give us the answer. What do you call a sleeping bull?
What do I call a sleeping bull?
Come on, this
You want one word for it?
Yes, a sleeping bull. Let me. I tell you.
You tell me. I'll fail that one.
Hey,
I'll pay you later.
A sleeping bull is a bulldozer. Thank you very much, Susan, for being here today. And
Manage me.
Yes, I have.
All right.
And thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the Live It Up podcast. It has really been fantastic having our senior assistant nursing officer bridge the gap between the different stakeholders in improving cancer care. Feel free to reach us on our website on www.uccfug.org, and then the Tribe UG on www.thetribe.africa. And then a big thank you to Afron, to the Uganda Cancer Institute, to E-Class Productions, and so many more. We shall see you again. I've still been your host, Brandy Valentine Azirwe, on the Live It Up podcast. Bye.